Hello, and welcome back to the Tells podcast. My name is Busi, and this podcast is on poker and love. I'm joined by my co-host, Andrew Nemi.
It sounds like you're going to say this podcast is sponsored by something or other, but no.
I'm practicing for the inevitable sponsorships that will be coming in droves.
Will they?
Yes, as soon as every single listener of the podcast tells their friends to subscribe or else.
There you go. Have at it. Why not right now? Maybe click the subscribe button. You got nothing else to do. Who do you think will sponsor this show? McDonald's? Coca-Cola? Spearmint Rhino?
I don't know. Who would be your ideal sponsor of this podcast, Andrew Nemi?
Anybody, really? Literally anybody.
Anybody. We'll take any sponsorship.
Yeah, we'll take money from literally anyone.
Sounds very much like another system in this country.
Which system is that?
Every system.
Every system.
Take money from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because think Facebook, do they have a who we don't take money from? Who we will not allow advertise on this platform? Sort of, right?
I think
very
so.
Loosely.
I don't think you can sell guns. I don't know. I don't think there's gun manufacturers and probably some other things. I don't know.
YouTube is similar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to have some morals.
Do we though? We're kind of desperate.
Are we desperate?
Yeah, we might get evicted if we don't get some cash coming into this house.
We made it through the week, kept it together.
Yes.
And here we are.
Yes. Society not yet coming to a halt, surprisingly.
Well, that's the thing. I saw a couple of articles from people who have lived in places where there has been a breakdown in society. One guy lived in Sri Lanka when they experienced a societal breakdown, and they all say that it's not what you expect it to be. People will continue to go about their day-to-day life. Mm-hmm. So I think it's hard to say what exactly societal breakdown looks like.
Probably pretty similar to what's been going on around here.
Right. So is it together?
Yeah. Well, there was no train that went off a cliff. There was no grand moment where, at least not yet, where anything drastic has happened or changed. At least not that I've noticed. How's your feeling about all the happenings? Anxiety level come back down to normal instead of through the roof? Oh, was that me?
That was you.
Oh, that was me.
I told you I wasn't watching the news, so I watched a little bit of coverage of election night.
Yeah.
And quickly realized this was not good for my mental health. So then I took myself to bed.
Not knowing what might happen the next day.
Yeah.
Who would be your future leader?
I knew that we weren't going to know anyway.
Okay.
Because of mail-in ballots and all that thing. So
yeah, you didn't see a need to sweat the action minute by minute, vote count by ballot count.
You did?
Yeah.
Was it exciting?
It was interesting, yeah. At least from gambling perspective, just because things were so all over the map, really.
Yeah, well, it's hard for me because I don't really understand, when you're reading me the odds and it's minus 193 plus 217. I don't really understand. And you don't really want to explain it to me in that
it's
moment.
Not true. I might.
You're just I've got a bet on. Okay.
Is that my tone? Was it my tone? You really like to cartoonize my tone when I say something to you, and then you repeat it back to me later on, next week.
It's inaccurate? Are you saying my representation of you is inaccurate?
It's a little hyperbolic.
I disagree that it's hyperbolic. More enthusiastic, perhaps. But
perhaps. Enthusiastic. Fine.
Hyperbolic, no.
Fake news. Yeah, that was fun, I guess. Just watching the betting lines move all over the place, especially when you have a bet on. Not that I had a huge life-changing wager on, but little something just to get the blood, additionally moving, as if the entire weight of the country wasn't enough based on this presidential election.
So you were carrying the entire weight of
on my shoulders.
On your shoulders.
With my little bet to go alongside it.
And was your bet successful or not?
Yeah, it's looking like it. Anything can happen, I guess, out there in the world. But I took the what appeared to be the sharp side, which means like the guys who are like doing the analytics, looking at the probabilities of things and comparing that to the odds that you're getting and then placing a wager on that, rather than like, the tone of the country feels like it's going to be this, et cetera. Or like usually the non-professional bettors will take the underdog just because you get more for your money, it's because they're the underdog, so you get paid more.
Who was the underdog in this race?
The underdog was Donald Trump going into election night.
Okay.
So like if you bet $100, then you get $180 or whatever.
Okay.
So I don't know. Anyway, I sided with the you get smaller payout, but it seems like the sharp guys in the room are going that way.
So you took the top dog?
That's
the reverse.
The favorite is the opposite of the underdog. Yes.
It's not the top dog.
The top dog? No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe. But like back when like McGregor fought Mayweather, that was a spot where like McGregor was the underdog and also like a fan favorite for a lot of people.
Okay.
And so therefore a lot of money was put on him. But the sharp guys all put a lot of money on Mayweather, even though he was the favorite and you get paid less compared to the amount that you wager. It was just like, he's a professional boxer. He's going to win. So you have to like put up a lot of money, and it's going to be kind of nerve wracking because you put up a lot of money to like make it worth your while to win something. But it's like what the sharp guys do, and they don't sweat that.
And what are the sharp guys?
Like I said, just like guys that are looking at the analytics and like running models,
okay.
And so like running simulations of the event.
So it's not a company called the Sharp Guys.
No, that's not a bad name though. If it was like a modeling wagering company, the Sharp Guys would be a good name.
The Sharp Guys. I think it's a great name.
We should maybe see if thesharpguys.com is available and buy that.
Yeah, so we made it through. So
far, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what you said too. You said so far.
Yeah.
So do you think the celebration is
premature?
Yeah, we've had a lot of celebration across. I mean, depending on where you are, but across the country, people pretty joyous on the outcome of the election.
No, I think it's probably going to be. I think it's not premature, probably because A, it's in line with the modeling. And B, it's not just like one spot where it's like razor thin. Like back when it was Al Gore versus George W. Bush, it was everything. All eyes were on Florida, and that spot kind of like tilted it one way or the other.
Okay.
Here it's like it's a little bit more spread out, and it seems like, I mean, I don't know. Who knows what goes on in these lawsuits and court cases and stuff. Somebody smarter than me.
Is that why Florida has a bad rap to this day? From 2000, Al Gore versus Bush.
That's one reason among many, I think. Shout out to Florida.
I saw a video online, and the guy says, if you had a choice to get rid of one state in the country, which state would it be? And then it was like, why Florida?
Which state would it be, and why is it Florida?
Yeah. He says, why are you thinking Florida? I was like, that's terrible.
Poor Floridians out there.
I know.
My dad has always been like a massive fan of Florida. He's always wanted to like spend his remaining time on planet Earth in Florida. We used to take trips down from Michigan, drive down in the minivan down to Florida as a kid. So I got some love for Florida as well. Some reminiscent times, There's good poker games too.
There's good poker in Florida.
Key West, loved it.
Key West was lovely.
Key lime pie, love it.
Okay. I think there's more to Key West than key lime pie, but okay.
There might be more to Florida than key lime pie. You're right. The thing is to like search Florida man and then your birthday. And that's like, it always brings up some crazy story of somebody who broke the law in some ridiculous manner. And like, that's like your Florida man. So if you go to Google and type Florida man, your birth date.
Okay.
That's your Florida person.
For Florida. But how do you undo that rep? How do you undo that reputation?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it's like the fact that people, I mean, I guess it depends on what like Florida is sort of known for aside from, you know,
Spring
like the craziness.
break.
Yeah, and spring break and stuff like that. Because like, is it like, you know, there's like tech hubs in different parts of the country. You know, there's like industries that state or area of the country is known for.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like, I'm sure Miami is known for other things aside from Florida man.
And just like wild parties and
Probably. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know though. What is it known for? Aside from real estate.
They have Art Basel in Miami.
That's true. Art scene.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't hate on Florida. What state would you get rid of? Florida?
I thought Florida, and I was like, that is just because that's the stereotype.
Sure.
Right?
Well, I mean,
everybody blames everything that's wrong on Florida.
Yeah. There's like, I'm sure the majority, I bet if you took a real vote, I don't know. I mean, California would be either first or second place.
That people would want to get rid of?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Well, because it's like the stereotypical super left-wing hub, basically. And so everybody who voted for Trump would say, yeah, let's get rid of California. They also have the most votes in the Electoral College.
Because it's so big.
Yeah. So.
Interesting, but I don't know. I'm happy that people are going to feel less anxious, because I saw a lot of people say I feel
like true anxiety about the whole thing.
I feel less anxious than I have in a long time. So
I think people are happy that there's somebody that they feel represents the country in a more professional manner. But at the same time, they need to like pretty quickly get over that and realize that it's still like half the country that's going to be feeling like they're not represented by this person. And they're pretty not happy about the whole thing.
I was here for 2 quite historic moments in the US, right? The election of Barack Obama in 2008 was like, whoa, what is happening? And then Kamala Harris becoming the first potentially VP, as a black woman. That's amazing. But also the overcorrection that happened because of Barack Obama's presidency is also quite frightening, right? You go from, so how far is this pendulum going to swing before it literally comes off the
right.
But I don't know. Maybe it's too soon to be like dark about it. But I also think that you're right. Like if people don't feel represented, they're just going to, what do I need to do for somebody to actually listen? So it becomes more and more like heightened, whatever the thing to do is, just becomes more extreme. And then we have social media that doesn't help. Andrew sent me a Joe Rogan podcast with one of the guys who was on the social dilemma.
Yep.
And so when you couple dissatisfaction with the inflammatory nature of social media, it's a little bit saddening.
Yeah, indeed.
So there's on New York Times, I mean, to actually deliver on the byline, is that what it's called?
Okay.
Of the podcast being about poker and love.
Yes.
There is this 36 questions that lead to love.
Yes.
Written by a psychologist, I believe, in 2015. So I wondered if you would like to fall more deeply in love with me.
Yes, I would.
By answering some questions.
Tough to fall even more deeply, but yes, let's try.
You said that without even a smile.
Is that scary?
kind of scary.
Kind of weird. All right. Hit me with the first question.
So are you ready to become very vulnerable?
Sure.
Okay, we're not obviously going to do 36 questions
Right.
today because we have some listener feedback as well. Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest?
You. Oh.
Aww, that's so sweet. Is that really your answer?
No.
Oh, wow.
Well,
okay.
I mean, sure. That's like, yeah, but like they want to, that's probably not the answer that they want. Because is this quiz meant for people that have been dating for a long time, or is it's meant for people that are on their first date?
No, baby. It's for people who don't know each other.
Right.
And
So why would I say you?
yeah, because this is our version of it. We're already been together for a long ass time.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
So just answer the question,
Okay.
Andrew. Okay, I don't care. I mean, it's sweet that you would say that. But who would you want to have as your dinner guest?
Casey Neistat.
Why?
So I can ask him questions about what I'm doing wrong with my content and my life.
You think he would have the answer?
Not the answer, but he might be able to give some advice.
But how do you think he knows? I don't think he... Do you think he analyzed what he was doing?
I would make him watch my content before dinner too, or maybe we would watch my content during dinner.
So you don't care whether the dinner is actually fun for the other person. You're just selfishly
Yeah, of course.
wanting to have dinner.
Yes.
Okay.
This is not about them
Okay.
and them getting something out of this. No,
Okay.
I'm not trying to change their life. They need to help me with my life.
Okay.
Next question. Oh, who do you want? Who do you want for your dinner guest?
The selfishness.
I forgot about that. Who's your guest?
Ooh. I would actually want to have my grandparents. I met one grandparent out of the 4, so I would love to have all 4 of them and then be able to ask them some questions and what they like wanted to achieve in life or how they viewed life. I think that would be really, really interesting.
Why are you trying to make me look so bad?
Okay.
That's a lovely answer.
Next question. Would you like to be famous in what way?
I think that the poker fame thing is a pretty ideal level of fame because it's so limited and like quarantined.
Niche.
So niche, yeah. So it's fun, like, you know, because poker is a job for me, and to have this new aspect of my job, you know, over the past 4 years is fun. You know, it's like a fun extra aspect of it rather than just going in and grinding. You know, there's people that say that they enjoy the content. You know, so that's all part of work, which makes, for a nice little additional bonus to the grind. But then, like, I mean, there is like not often, but like the very rare sort of occasional time where I'm like, I just kind of want to keep my head down and grind and not like, you know, do the vlog thing, you know, but there's always like people around. You know, it's not really a big deal, but I can't imagine like being Leonardo DiCaprio and like everywhere is that, like,
everywhere
all the time
in the world.
Yeah.
Not just even
Right.
in America.
Yeah, like that all the time. I mean, he seems to like have his shit together for the most part. No like freakouts or whatever, I don't think.
We don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's happened in private situations or whatever, but you got to be like pretty prone to just like freaking out if like that's happening all the time all around you.
Yeah.
I would imagine. So I'm pretty happy with the level that I'm at.
Your level of fame?
What about you?
I don't think so.
No fame.
I don't think so, no. I mean, there's always the perks of fame that everybody wants. Access to more...
Like a free hotel room?
Not a free... Just access. You have access to people who you admire, access to experiences. I think that's amazing. But you don't control the fame. The fame controls you.
There was a Naval tweet just either today or yesterday, as a matter of fact, that was about this, that caught my eye and had me thinking a little bit, as his tweets tend to do. Naval says, the reward for getting on the stage is fame. The price of fame is you can't get off the stage. Intense, huh?
Why can't you get off the stage?
Because once you're famous,
You can
you're
never.
always on. People are always.
You're always on stage.
Yeah. But, so like it could be tough to get on the stage, to like take the leap and put yourself out there. And there's, some, like you said, some benefits to that whole thing, that fame thing, like you were just alluding or mentioning. But the cost is there as well.
So you just have to make a decision on whether, but you don't know. You don't know how your fame will materialize, right? So sure, you can have PR companies that sort of try and mold you and present you to the world this sort of way. But you have a bad day and yell at the Starbucks girl, and that's it. You're done.
Well, you shouldn't be yelling at the Starbucks girl anyway.
You shouldn't, but everybody has a bad day. What if you snap,
Sure. We all have our moments in time, in life.
A couple of months ago, we spoke about the trolley thing, returning the trolley to the parking.
Yeah. Was there a celebrity who didn't?
No, it wasn't a celebrity, but this lady was saying that somebody shamed her about not returning the trolley.
Okay.
And she had just come home from being with her dying sister.
Oh.
I felt
That's
so bad.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Yeah, you never know what's going on in people's lives.
You just never know what's going on in people's lives. So I was like, oh.
So imagine that woman amplified by like the internet.
Yeah, or if she was famous.
That's what I'm saying. Like if somebody took a video of it and sold it to TMZ, and then TMZ blasted it all over the place without understanding like what happened in that person's life that day.
Yeah.
But you know who does it right?
Who?
Banksy, because he's anonymous, but he's very like famous and well revered. Is that the word? Mm-hmm. And rich, probably. So
I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, have like your character out there, be famous, but nobody knows it's you on a daily basis.
I think that's 90% of being famous is having a character out there.
What do you mean? 90%?
Like people who are famous, we don't know them. We think we know them because you've seen somebody in a movie and you're like, oh, I know that person.
Sure, yeah. Nobody actually knows that person, but it's your same face.
Okay. So Banksy, there is no face.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
what if
there's
Banksy
got to be
is
like people that, I'm surprised he hasn't been like revealed, because there has to be some number of people that know who he is.
What if there's not one person? What if Banksy is like a co-op of artists?
I doubt it though. But maybe.
Okay, moving on. Let's move on to the next question. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say and why?
Mm-hmm. I do.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you rehearse?
Because I'm weird. Because I'm insecure. I don't want it to be like awkward and rocky. Because the person I'm calling is a professional at what they're doing. Like if I'm calling customer service or something.
You rehearse customer service calls?
I rehearse the question probably.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
Because they're a professional at
at customer servicing.
At that and the company and the situation. And I don't want to look like a fool in front of them. And have them be like, what are you talking about, sir? Get it together and come back to me.
I rehearse conversations.
You don't seem like you do.
You
don't seem like you do.
You do not know what happens in my head. But I don't think I rehearse those type of interactions. Mm-hmm. I think I rehearse. I definitely know that when I first started dating, I would rehearse questions that I wanted to ask, and that would be like in the safe space and sort of get to know if, like questions that are revealing about somebody. So I probably rehearsed questions before we went on our date. But
I feel like when we had our first dates that I felt like I didn't have to rehearse anything.
Aww.
So
that's sweet.
Yeah.
But I think that is usually because I know that I'm very shy, it might not appear that way. But if the spotlight is on me,
Yeah, you don't appear that way.
I completely freeze, and sometimes I can't answer a question at the drop of a hat, you know. But
I've never seen you completely freeze.
baby, can you just let me speak, please?
I don't know if any of this is true.
So I rehearse questions that I know at least will, let people speak. Then it's like easy to have a conversation, I think.
Yeah.
So
So what about customer service?
I do not rehearse customer service calls, I don't believe.
You don't feel nervous?
No. I don't feel nervous before I call.
Do you make those conversations about them?
No. Those are conversations about me, usually.
Okay.
Yeah. Should we answer one more question and then go to some...
Yeah, let's do one more.
One more question and
Yeah.
then go to some listener feedback?
Or maybe we should just hit the feedback. Let's get to the feedback.
There's an important question. As the holidays approach, what is your recommended brand of eggnog? I recall seeing one in a vlog you posted.
That is a damn good question.
I was going to buy you the Trader Joe's eggnog the other night.
Yeah.
And then I rejected the fact that it was November 1st and you're selling me eggnog. No.
Why would you reject that?
No. Even when I went to Costco, there was a giant jug of eggnog. I said no.
Get it.
Too early.
Get that.
Anyway, answer the question, Andrew Nimi.
I'm looking up brands.
You don't have one at the top of your head?
I don't.
Don't trust this recommendation. He's never had it.
Never had eggnog?
No, he's never had this brand.
No, I'm trying to find one that looks familiar to me.
They all have a red label.
I'm sorry, I don't have one.
Try them all.
Try them all. There's a couple different routes you can go. You can go one route, which is it has the brandy already in it, which is lovely, sure. Or you can just go with a nice, thick, heavy nog.
And then add your own brandy.
Or not. Or just have it on its own, yeah.
Okay.
As a nice little treat. Come this time of year.
It's too early.
Nah. It should be year-round.
Mid-December or after Thanksgiving, then maybe. Somebody says, Harry says, we need Nevada to carry the day. Have Andrew help them count, please. What did you think of people just ragging on Nevada? Is that the right word?
Mm-hmm.
About this vote count. Did you see all the memes?
Yes.
What did you think about this? Did it offend you as a Nevadan?
No.
It didn't.
I mean, Nevada is crazy. Let's just admit it. This is a crazy place.
Like the first tweet you sent me was somebody saying, I can't believe the election might be determined by people who choose to live in the desert.
Live in Las Vegas.
Live in Las
permanently.
Vegas, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a crazy state. I mean, you've got all sorts of things here going on out there, don't you?
Okay. Like every other state in the world, the country.
It gets 115 degrees here. There's legalized prostitution, 24-hour gambling and drinking. There's these like old ass mining towns that are like abandoned, like ghost towns now. What else we got going on around here?
So you think this view of Nevada is accurate?
Yeah.
Besides the fact that people can't even pronounce Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah,
no, it's crazy. And we deserve whatever gets thrown at us.
I took slight offense.
But we also like don't really care. Like we embrace how ridiculous it is here. As there's also like tons of like good things here, you know, like amazing restaurants. For example. I'm thinking about sushi right now.
All right, let's see some comments. Our title of last week's podcast was, What is the point of life?
Yes.
And Ed said, the point of life is to be around and make others happy the best I can. Other than that, I think in general, the point of life is to help power the batteries of some alien life form that has been keeping us trapped in a virtual world.
The Matrix. Nice reference. Yeah, I generally, for a long time, I thought that was the purpose of life as well, is to improve other people's lives or the people after us.
So do things in your life to make sure that other people's lives are better.
Yeah. I don't know if that's really like a purpose though. I mean, I think it's a good like goal and way to live your life. But like, I guess I question what the word purpose means, you know, like by the creator.
If it depends where you're coming from, which is always the issue, right? So we have to have an agreement of what purpose means. And if it means something different to everybody, then we're not going to agree on what the purpose of life is.
Yeah.
So I guess every time you pose a question like that, you have to define what the basics or the standards are for that question, where you're coming from. And then you can move from there and say, you know.
I have another Naval tweet to reference.
Okay.
Because he was doing an AMA on Twitter and someone asked him if he believes in God. And Naval said, where would he stand?
On what?
Yeah. On what would he stand? Meaning, who put the thing that he's standing on there?
But so he didn't say yes or no.
That was his reply.
Where would he stand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the bigger challenges that we have, right? Is that the questions we ask, what framing are they coming from? What are you trying to achieve by asking that question to begin with?
Yeah. Our feeble minds can't comprehend a God anyway. So what's the point?
Of believing in one?
Sure, or trying to figure out if there is one. Because where would he stand?
Okay.
And then what do you do? Where do you go from there? Like, it's impossible to reach some sort of like conclusion.
Right, but I also don't think we shouldn't ask the questions just because we don't have a set answer.
I like how I said our feeble minds can't comprehend it anyway. So what's the point?
Yeah, I kind of disagree.
Oh,
but
okay.
I think the mind can be expanded, and you expand it by asking questions. So you go into the crevices of your mind.
Yeah.
If we think of the mind as the brain, which it's not, and expand it in that way.
Right.
So
the goal is to just like expand your mind a little bit, maybe?
I think the goal of life is expansion.
Yeah.
Because if the universe is always constantly expanding and you're part of the universe, then that should be your state too.
All right.
Of expansion.
Is that the purpose of life then?
Expansion.
Yeah.
In always. All
right.
One last thing before we go. We watched The Queen's Gambit this week. Yes.
We did.
We watched some television.
What's your rating? Out of 10?
9. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
What was your rating?
I like that. I like a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 is amazing. It's not quite like one of the best things I've ever watched, but it's pretty up there.
What's the best thing you've ever watched?
I don't know. The Matrix.
Okay. And The Matrix is a 10 out of 10?
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah. Okay. There's no pleasing Andrew Neeme, I guess.
I'll think about it and get back to you next show.
No, it was brilliant. If you haven't seen it and you have some time, now that your anxiety level is lower, check it out.
Highly recommend. The Queen's Gambit.
It's on Netflix.
Yes.
Okay. That's
right.
it.
Thanks for chatting with me. Thanks for the questions.
You're welcome. If you like this podcast, please subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Yeah. And if you'd like to call us or get in contact with us, ask some questions.
Text or voicemail, we accept both.
702-690-9299. And you can also write to us. hello@telspodcast.com.
Can't wait to hear from you guys.
And until next time.
You think we're going to get some political blowback based on things I said?
I don't know.
Yes, we will.
Let's wait and see.
Yes, we will.
So dramatic. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.